Alright guys, this is going to be the final part to our body mounting videos. We have our Porsche 917 body mounted up. It's pinned. I've went through, trimmed it as you've seen in the previous videos, and now it's ready to have the pins taped in, and we'll go over just some minor detailing that anybody can do. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It really makes a plain colored body look really sharp, and I'm confident that everybody will be able to do it. So we got our tools laid out here, and I have a sticker sheet by UltraCal. It's a great sheet, has a lot of numbers on it. They have a couple of different types, but we're going to go ahead and I'll pop off some numbers here. We're going to go with number 38, and I'll go ahead and place the numbers, you know, one front and center. I'll go one on each side, and because there's four, you know, and obviously you don't want to be stuck with a number, I go through quite a bit of these sheets, and so a lot of times I will do 3 numbers, and after every 3 sheets I'll have an extra one and I'll be able to do an extra car. But I've actually been taking that 4th one also, putting it sideways on the spoiler, and it actually looks really good. I really like how that looks. It kind of finishes it off even though there's not one on the other side. But that's pretty much it for the numbers. And then for taping the sides on, I don't put anything on the inside. I know a lot of guys put body armor. They do a lot of stuff in there, and that usually will outlast the rest of the body, and that's great, but I don't do it. It adds weight and it adds width to the body, and I don't waste the time doing it, because to me a body is going to get hammered and it's pretty much a consumable item, and you know, it's a $2 body. So and you know, once you guys learn how to do all of these steps, you'll view it that same way. So I use regular packaging tape, and I'll go ahead and take my straight scissors. I'll make a slice right in the center of the tape, you know, about 1/4 of an inch up, and then I'll cut it, and you end up with those 2 flaps right there. And then I'll use tweezers, and that's just because that's what I'm comfortable using, but I actually use the back of the tweezers. I'll stick it on there with my thumb so that I have that right there, and then I'll pull the car off. And if you cut it a little bit too thick, if you're like 3/8 or something, it's no big deal. You just have a little bit hanging off the bottom there, and you can use a thin blade will go back through, but you just lay that tape on there like so. You can see I have a little bit of overhang down there on the bottom, and I'll use this, go up inside, I'll go through and just rub my thumb on all of it. That's kind of like step 1 to taping it, and I'll go and do that to both sides. Right now I'm going to go ahead and trim that excess off the bottom. You can use a sharp X-Acto, you can use scissors. I guess you could probably even fold it up underneath there if you wanted to, but you obviously want to be careful you don't slice your body, because it's getting to a point where it's pretty much done, and you're going to have a little bit of time into it. You don't want to waste it. But we'll go ahead and do the other side here. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You want to make sure that you have the same amount of tape in front of the pin as you do, or on the front side of the pin as you do on the back side. But we go ahead and pull it off now, and this side here, because the tape wasn't perfectly straight, I'll go ahead and cut it. You can see that now both sides are taped. The pins are nice and secure, and this is where I also use this back part here, and I'll just run the body down flat like so, and I just will go ahead and I'll press around there and just try to press any air out of the tape, you know, and I'll pull it along the bottom. You can look at it and see around the pin head where the tape is not stuck down. That's totally normal. Don't be worried about it. This is pretty thick tape, so it's going to do it more than it would if you were using a thinner tape. But for the most part, that's really all that you need to do as far as taping the pins in. You can put the numbers on after. I like to put them on before, just so that I'm actually putting tape over the numbers as well. And you can reinstall it, and really nothing will have changed or moved. It's not going to fit differently. It's just going to be solid now. Now, stuff could move if your pinholes were oversized and they were falling out. That definitely could be a problem. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen. But now to do some just basic detail, I have a Sharpie ultra fine point, and then I have just a regular Sharpie. This actually is an extreme one, fade resistant. I've found that these hold up a lot better on the bodies. But you know, you can go through and just, you know, you're just kind of hitting the accents and really giving the body some definition and you know, just some light detail. And you know, if you mess up, like I kind of just did right there, but I was able to cover it up, you can just use some isopropyl alcohol and start over. I mean, don't sweat it, but I usually try not to put too much of that on the stickers. So if you have stickers there, you might want to stay clear. But I'll go ahead and I'll do the wingtips. That was with the fatter marker. I'll take the Sharpie. You can do the fan. I'll go ahead and do the velocity stacks. You can stagger them if you want to make it look true to scale. You can also, sometimes I'll swipe that whole bank with a silver Sharpie, and then I'll do the black on top of it. It gives it even more definition. You have your air scoops in the back there. I usually go one across the front, and then I do front fender louvers. These are tricky. No matter how many you do, they're never going to be symmetrical, but they look good from far away. And usually I'll do a little gas filler on this side. It's just a circle with dots around it. Just gives it some, you know, some detail there. And then you can also do a set of louvers on the back, and that's kind of standard issue for this particular car here. And that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously you can mask headlights, you can use headlight decals, but that's just a plain white body. Looks pretty good. It would work really well. You can use a fine point red Sharpie if you want to do some taillights. I always just do round circles. I know this isn't a Corvette, but round circles are the easiest. Porsche taillights are kind of tricky to do. So that's really your finished body that's ready for the track. That could be ready for anybody's car. It's really not that hard to get the body to this point. It's a little bit of time. You might spend about an hour, maybe a little more than an hour working on it in total, but if you do 4 or 5 bodies at the same time, you can, you know, for just a little bit more time, you can really get a lot back for it. And it's quite a bit of fun being able to do different bodies. And then once you start doing different graphics and decals and stuff like that, you can make some really cool cars. I mean, this is just a green body, done the same amount of detail work with the exception of adding some Porsche decals. So I have a Porsche emblem on it. I have shell stickers, CB stickers, and it looks pretty good. You know, it's a good running body. This one had headlight masks, so we could run headlights in it. But that's really it. Super light body, really easy, a lot of fun. Thanks.